Unfortunately, I decided to scrap my power scaling the Griffin family video. I left it unfinished for far too long, so I feel like it wouldn't be a good video. I also made it when I had a shitty mic, so I feel like I wouldn't do it justice. I might make it another day if I feel like it. Anyways, here's the commentary video that I promised y'all. In order to truly understand the plot of Dark Souls 3, we have to start at the very beginning, all the way back to Dark Souls 1. Blue eyes, white dragons, red eyes, black dragons, and many others of the dragon archetype ruled the surface, while pedophiles ruled the underground. Since pedophiles like to prey upon children, they are lifeless husks, completely devoid of a soul. That is until the first flame appeared, and it provided souls, the source of all morality. Among these souls were the four Lord Souls, each one holding control over a different aspect of humanity. The bitch of Izalith gained the degenerate soul, Nito gained the introvert soul, Gwyn gained the white people soul, and the furtive pygmy gained the black people soul. Even with souls, defeating the dragons proved difficult. But let me show you how this story develops. So you see, Gwyn and his firstborn son were in the lab practicing combos when they got a mysterious DM from a dragon named Seath the Scaleless. Seath was actually a victim of heavy cyberbullying and ultimately chose the school shooter route. Only dragons don't use guns, so he did the next best thing, sending Gwyn all of the frame data for dragons. With this, dragons would soon perish. Gwyn and his knights hit them with anti-airs. The bitch of Izalith applied corner pressure, and Nito applied the TOD. With it, Gwyn's Age of Fire started, and it was going great. Until everything started going wrong, of course. The bitch of Izalith used the degenerate soul to make a new flame, but ultimately made monster girls. Gwyn's firstborn came out as a scaly, so Gwyn was forced to do the most sensible thing a father can do: erase your son's very existence from history. But worst of all, the black people started to rise up. You see, history was supposed to go as followed: the Age of Ancients, the Age of Fire, and the Age of the Black Man. However, Gwyn is a large advocate for white power. He doesn't want the Negroes to succeed, so he performed the greatest act of white supremacy a man could ever do. He turned history into a cycle, constantly switching between black excellence and white power. Because of this, a disease called super gonorrhea 2, yes, the two matters, started to infect humanity. The symptoms: immortality, but with every death you lose more and more of your morality, eventually turning you back into a pedophile. The reason for the disease? To eventually find a white person or an Uncle Tom strong enough to overcome all of Gwyn's challenges and link the fire. The cycle occurs hundreds of times across centuries, from DS1 all the way to the start of DS3. Our story begins in a kingdom named Lothric, where a man of the same name is supposed to link the fire. Unfortunately, this guy is suffering from a large case of white guilt, so he ultimately decides to let the world rise into black excellence. Because of this, the first failsafe was activated, and previous Lords of Cinder woke up from their power naps to try and link the fire. However, these guys don't want to kill themselves either. The Abyss Watchers would rather kill themselves via sword than burning alive. Yorm is actually so depressed that he does not consider suicide, and Aldrich the Redditor would rather look for a femboy than the power of white excellence. Thus, the second failsafe was created. All of the white people and light-skins who failed to link the fire coagulated into a new race, the dark-skin. When the light-skin fails, it's the dark-skins who have to pick up the slack. Their job? Beat the everlasting fuck out of the Lords of Cinder, steal their flames like a good dark-skin should, and link the fire. The game starts. You wake up in the cemetery of ash where darkskins are born, and begin to make the trek to your hub, Firelink Shrine. To test you, Eudex Gundyr appears to see whether you are truly the champion of ash. Beat that bitch and move on. The Firekeeper tells you of your mission, and you are sent to Lothar Castle, where the lords should still be asleep. However, you took too long looking at the Firekeeper's ass, and they all fucked off to their hometowns. So now, we have to go through the Undead Settlement, a place where pedophiles rise with every new 3,000-year-old lolly. There are so many groomers that the fat woman had to step up with a solution. Send pedos down the appropriately named Road of Sacrifices and send them to Aldrich the Redditor, where he will suck the Reddit karma out of them, effectively killing them.
Do you accept Reddit karma?
Where Aldrich lives, the Cathedral of the Deep, was once a church of white power, turned into a cesspool of degeneracy when Aldrich turned into a degenerate. Clergymen became apostles of cringe. Bodies drained of Reddit karma filled the place, and Aldrich's most loyal subjects, the Deacons of the Deep, guarded Aldrich's bed. Kill them and prepare to beat Aldrich. Only he's not there. His gaming chair is empty. Since Aldrich also has a YouTube following, you would have noticed that he made a home tour video for his fans. But what he failed to realize is that he forgot his spare keys. And take a look at the make of the spare keys. They are Erythalian. You have essentially doxed him. Go back to the Road of Sacrifices and take the other direction to arrive at Farron Keep, home of the Abyss Watchers. The Abyss Watchers hate black people so much that at the slightest Negro idiom,
because that joke is horrible, nigga, open your mouth. When you speak to me, speak with your chin up like it's picture day.
they kill each other without a second thought. Beat them and see what they were guarding. The catacombs of Karthus. The land of Karthus was ruled by High Lord Wonir, who was the best XCOM 2 player of our time. However, he forgot to build the GTS Frame 1, and everyone knows that people who forget to build the GTS Frame 1 must be corrupted by the darkness, so the Abyss Watchers of Farron had to go down there and do what a white supremacist does best. Go through the catacombs and you'll make it to Irithyll, who is ruled by Pontiff Sullivan. I cannot stress how important this guy is to the plot. We're going to be talking about him a lot, but for now, Ponti was actually born in the painting of Arienda, which we will not be covering in this video. However, he was bullied, but instead of taking the shoot up the school path, he took the move to a new school path. Enter his new home in Irithyll. After going too far in the basement, he came across the profaned capital, home of the profaned flame. A long time ago, someone accidentally threw an XXX Tentacion track into the fire, and it has been burning ever since. Inspired by the fire, Ponti decides to do an e-girl's wet dream, overthrow the royal family, and raise black excellence to the summit. The royal family resided in Anor Londo, which contains the future dancer, Yorska, Guinevere, and most importantly, Gwendolyn. Most of them were forced to escape, and the ones who stayed had an even worse fate. Ponti actually gave Aldrich Gwendolyn to aid in his thirst for femboys. After sucking the Reddit karma from so many people, Aldrich had a dream of a little girl hiding, being absolutely disgusted by the concept of an actual woman. Aldrich proceeds to breed Gwendolyn in order to bring an age of the deep. The age of deep come. You catch him right in the act. It's time to purge the world of this evil.
21.
Next, you gotta go down the basement. Past the hordes of sex slaves, you get to the profaned capital. I've already talked about the profaned flame, but now we need to talk about Yorm. All jokes aside, giants in Dark Souls in general are essentially the same as black people in real life, in the sense that they are enslaved, tortured, and persecuted. Yorm was no different, but he rose to power, proving that giant lives actually matter. He knew that humans he was ruling were really ignorant, so he gave them a weapon that can kill giants to his people. He gave another version of the weapon to Sigurd of Katarina. I don't think I have to explain that Sigurd is black. Under that oniony and friendly exterior, he is as black as they come. Everything was going great for Yorm, until the person he wanted to protect the most died. He got so depressed that he threw away his shield for us to steal, and tried to light the fire in order for him to douse the profaned flame. This actually caused the Fire Nation to attack, currently leaving him as the only person left in his kingdom. Put him out of his misery. You are then teleported without your consent to Lothric Castle, where the dancer appears, the embodiment of alternative girls. How do I know this? Because her dialogue is consistent of bitching and crying. Sound familiar? The dancer is a victim of the Great Pontiff Uprising. The Pontiff essentially raped her, mind-breaked her, and turned her into a mindless slave. She became an outrider knight, one who has seen Among Us moves to the point of utter insanity. Going through the castle and killing 2 blue-eyed white dragons, you reach the Grand Archives. After avoiding all of the inhabitants that are trying to make you read, you finally reach Lothric, but not exactly. Lothric is too much of a bitch to come fight you, so he makes Lorien do it. The Lothric family was a prevalent clan in the white supremacist group. Lothric was supposed to be the one to light the fire, but he was born a little bitch. Lorien was more suited to light the fire, but he was too busy killing demons like Guts. Just to prove how much of a Chad he was, he took some of Lothric's bitchness, making him mute and crippled, but that still wasn't enough to kill you, and Lothric jumping on Lorien's back didn't do shit. You've stolen all the fires. It's time to do the final challenge. The Soul of Cinder is the amalgamation of every single Lord of Cinder that linked the flame so far. Gwyn, the god of white power, Yugimoto, the king of games, Goku. All blink influences can be seen in this enemy. Beating this enemy allows you 4 endings. End black excellence once again, and bring out an age of white power. Let the BLM chant have meaning, while potentially letting out your inner incel, and killing the Karen that orchestrated your entire journey, or usurp the fire and lead the world into a new age of pedophilia. Thus ends the main story of Dark Souls